Hello and welcome to another edition of Congleton Chronicles. We're going to look through the local paper with its editor, James Jackson, who's joined us in the studio here at TMC in Congleton. Hello, James.
Hi, good morning once again, Mark.
How are you? All right?
Good. The week goes by quick, as ever.
It does, doesn't it? Actually, yeah. I'm Mark Edwardson, and I'll be holding James's hand for the next 10 minutes or so while we find out what's actually been happening in Congleton over the last 7 days. This is the latest edition of the Chronicle, which is the 17th of February in 2026. And let's take a look at the front page, James. The headline is Decades-Long Wait Continues for Road Improvements. I mean, you look at the state of the roads in Congleton, you think decades. Has it only been decades?
I know, it seems a lot longer, doesn't it? So what we're talking about here, what we're focusing on here, Mark, is money that a lot of people will know about called Section 106 funds. I'll try in a nutshell. That is money that developers give on the back of their housing developments, for argument's sake.
It's part of the planning, isn't it?
It's part of the planning conditions, or not a condition, but they've got a pot of fund that they need to give for infrastructure improvements on the back of their housing developments, whether it's new pedestrian crossings, bus stops, to schools, health centres, to help the area cope with these new housing developments. But these Section 1 funding agreements can amount to hundreds of thousands of pounds. And we've reported extensively over the years in the Chronicle, not least where people have got back in touch with us to say, well, look, all these houses have been built. Where's all this money been spent? And a lot of it isn't spent. Either the Cheshire East Council have got it and they've done nothing with it, or, as we're reporting on the front this week, this is actually it could apply to Congleton, but this focuses on the area, the parish of Arklid, where there's houses on Arklid Crossroads. There's a housing development at the junction with London Road, where the developer was told that he must give hundreds of thousands of pounds in Section 106 developments for ecology improvements, but also for road safety improvements. And there's a bit of a two-way thing going between Cheshire East Council and the developer as to what one's saying. Cheshire East has said the developer should have used this money for road safety improvements. The developer's saying we couldn't use that money until Cheshire East had done its own highways improvements. So I think in the round, it's just focusing on the fact that, once again, there's this situation where money was earmarked on the back of housing developments for improvements to local infrastructure, and it's still outstanding, basically, for whatever the reason.
So I suppose voters and householders are probably wondering, where is that money at the moment? Is it resting with Cheshire East, or is it with the developer? Yeah.
Well, one of the issues is, Mark, I don't know how many years it is, but if the money's not been used on a particular improvement, it goes back to the developer after so many years.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So there is a sort of deadline in that respect. But like I said, we've done loads of reporting on this issue. Things like, you think about all the new houses, to make it local to Congleton, all the houses that have been built on the back of the Link Road, for argument's sake.
Yeah.
I'm sure in some of them schools are planned. Where are the schools?
Yeah,
they've never materialised.
There's another obvious example, isn't there, on Padgebury Lane, where at the moment there's a garden at the side of the road on Padgebury Lane, where originally there was meant to be a doctor's surgery.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Which never appeared.
No, I think that might be. It's going to be more houses possibly now.
Well, that's what the developer wanted to do.
That's right.
I think the locals are fighting it. But yeah, that was meant to be a doctor's surgery down there.
That's right.
And if you've ever tried to book an appointment at a doctor's in Congleton, you know how desperately they are. They're needed. Although then again, there's a shortage of recruiting doctors as well, which is another problem.
Another issue. Yeah, but
so what's? I mean, if the money's resting with Cheshire East, but it has to go back to the developers if it's not spent in time.
Yes.
Whatever that period of time is, what are Cheshire East saying? Are they?
Well, we've reported here because it was Congleton Town Councillor Robert Douglas, who's done some digging into the Section 106 funding at Cheshire East for various areas.
I bet he loved that.
Dog with a bone.
He is.
We report here, I'll just read an excerpt. We said Councillor Douglas found that a contribution of £107,400 had been earmarked for highways, had been paid to the council by Morris Homes. The agreement said, quote, prior to first occupation, the developer will complete the provision of a ghost island turn onto the A50, and it goes into the various road improvements that were earmarked. And the reason was because of the interest of highway safety. And the agreement said the developer should also complete other work as well. But it's not; it's still outstanding.
Yeah, and the other thing about Section 106 money is, of course, that that cash doesn't come out of the developer's pocket. It's not granted benevolently in that respect, is it?
Yeah.
Each person who buys one of those houses new actually pays that 106 money, and so a slice of the value of the purchase goes into the 106 fund, doesn't it?
That's right.
All those people who bought houses there have got money effectively tied up in Cheshire East, and if Cheshire East isn't spending it, then it goes back to the developer. It's just more profit for them, isn't it?
It is, and they don't, and the people who need the better infrastructure, they're still waiting for it.
Yeah, nobody's happy, are they? Yeah. Well, maybe apart from the developers.
With the deep pockets. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, let's turn to one of the inside pages now, James. On page 3.
Yes.
Lovely pun. Thank Pew for warm welcome at St Mary's.
Yeah, it's a good one, isn't it?
It's a good one. That was that your
No,
I
think that was the editor. Yeah, he gets the praise for that.
Very magnanimous of you to give the editor credit for that. Good work.
Yeah. So the story we're telling here, we reported over Christmas, Mark, how St Mary's Church in Asbury sadly had to shut for 3 more. It continues to be shut temporarily over winter.
Yeah.
Because of the funding crisis it faces. Basically, they reckon the amount of work that needs on the 13th century buildings, I love beautiful buildings, St Mary's, it amounts to about £1 million.
Wow.
They've got a huge fundraising campaign underway.
Yeah.
But to try and ease the pressure on it, as it were, not least to cut down on the heating bills, it closed after the Christmas services.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, the congregation has moved to, I guess, its sister church at St John's in Smallwood, which isn't too far away. But we've reported this because it's to let people know, and it's such a landmark church, St Mary's.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, it's gorgeous. I mean, and the setting's brilliant. Isn't it? Above the green.
It is.
It just dominates the village, doesn't it? In a way that a church like that should.
Yeah.
I mean, the interior is spectacular as well. If you've never been in the building and you get a chance, it's it's well worth a trip. But it is interesting. Is it's going to cost £1 million to fix, and I quite like architecture. I'm a bit of a buff.
No, it's good.
And in the latest edition of Beartown Voice that's coming out in a week or two, I'm looking at some of the architecture of Congleton, and I really like the old stuff, like the bistro on Middle Street at DV8, and so on and so forth. The what's it called, the King's Arms. I love buildings like that, but I really like the Trinity Methodist Church as well. Brutally modern. It's fantastic. But isn't it interesting how the people who built old buildings, what we now call heritage, right? I wonder whether they ever expected them to last, because if you think about it, they would have, like the town hall, right? They knocked down a gorgeous Georgian town hall to build that thing, right? So now, people with town halls, people with large churches, old ancient buildings, are left with massive costs to keep them running. Yeah. And the people who built them probably never expected them to last this long anyway.
That's right. No, it's a good point.
They didn't worry about what they knocked down to build those things, did they?
Yeah. But I mean, just another point we picked up on was the rector of Asprey in her parish magazine, giving an update about how much really the congregation at St John's had given them a warm welcome.
Yeah.
Although it's just a short journey, she alluded to the journeys Jesus made into the wilderness, how the 3 wise men followed the star, and how Jesus asked his disciples to go out and preach the ministry, and she sort of equated that to the journey they've made to the church down the road and across the A34 and down Child's Lane. But it's a nice touch, really.
Were any waves parted as they made that journey?
The traffic probably on the 34.
Were they chased out of Egypt? No, I mean, it is good that churches like that will work together in times of adversity. It is,
yeah.
And despite what I said earlier about knocking down old buildings, I wouldn't want to knock down St Mary's.
No,
it's a gorgeous building.
It is.
Really is.
So hopefully, it's a big fundraising campaign they got going, but hopefully you can turn things around there.
Okay, James, what's the bonus ball this week? What else have we got?
Well, I thought it's another uplifting tale, really. It's about a recent fundraiser at Asprey Golf Club, where Congleton's sporting family were the VIPs, as it were, at a fundraising evening. So basically, it was Anne Packer.
Oh, yes.
Anne Brightwell, nee Packer, and a son, Ian Brightwell.
Former Manchester City player.
That's right. So obviously Anne was telling regaling about her legendary gold medal winning run at the 800 metres in the 1964 Tokyo Olympics.
God, that's a long time ago.
That's right, yeah.
Even I don't remember that.
No, nor do I either. And then Ian went on to tell the audience about his time playing for City and how I think he scored in the Manchester derby against United back in the early 90s.
What an amazing pair of stories from one single family.
That's right.
2 generations of the same family.
Yeah.
So much to tell. It must have been a fabulous night.
And then a nice moment must have been, Mark, where during the evening they showed footage of Anne, finishing and winning the gold. And it says, I think there was quite, everyone was tearing up. He showed her running into the arms of her late husband, Robbie, yeah. He was obviously at the Olympic. He was at the Olympics in '64 as well.
He was a medalist as well.
I think he was. Yeah, I think he's silver. Yeah. But it was a nice touch there, and Anne was recounting some happy moments from all those years ago, which is nice to tell the readers about that as well.
Well, it's great to have somebody like Anne who lives in this town.
That's
isn't it? Somebody who's been there and done something.
Yeah.
And it's thanks to her that we've got the golden letterbox.
The golden letterbox. That's it.
Outside the barber's there.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And then we've got there's a hall at a room or suite at the leisure centre, the refurbished leisure centre as well, the Brightwell suite.
Yeah. Is there a street named after her yet?
I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Maybe
that's something.
Or there could be one.
Something for us to think about for the future, James, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Listen, great to talk to you again.
Yeah,
nice to see
it,
you.
and you.
Have a good week.
Yeah, cheers.
James Jackson, the deputy editor of the Congleton Chronicle, and me, Mark Edwardson, taking a look at Congleton Chronicled this week. Thanks for TMC again for hosting us. Hope to see you next time.